Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan Iqbal Kaur, anak perempuan Canan Singh dari Kolej Tun Datuk Tuanku Haji Bujang, Miri Sarawak untuk membentangkan kajian bertajuk Improving Students' Ability in Writing Discursive Essays in Muet Cefr using the Burger Technique.
Hello and good morning. I'm Iqbal Kaur, anak perempuan Canan Singh, and today I'll be presenting my action research on improving students' ability in writing discursive essays in Muet Cefr using the Burger technique. Okay, so this is my abstract. So as we can see in the abstract, it is a short summary of what my action research is all about. Okay, so my teaching and learning reflection. So as we know, in the Muet paper, task 2 of the 800/4 Malaysian University English test consists of a textual stimulus which requires the candidates to respond. Alright, so when we look at it, there are 3 types of essay which the students have to master, which are discursive essay, argumentative essay, and a problem solution essay. So by analyzing the questions, the students will be able to identify which essay they are supposed to write. So if we look at it, a discursive essay requires the students to explore a variety of different controversial and current subject problem or disagreement in an engaging and informative manner. Okay, once they have identified they are supposed to write it out properly. Okay, so my research focus is I realized that my students were still writing their essays in the same way they had in their SPM English language exam, which is without a proper structure. And also they were having a lot of problem as they were not able to format the essay properly. So my objectives are general objectives and my specific objectives. General, I've got 1. To improve students' discursive essay writing ability, and my specific objectives are to motivate students to write in a proper style and to help students achieve better scores in the discursive essay. So my target group were my current, at that time I was teaching semester 1 Science Social C students, 30 students, 2 males and 28 females, and these students came from different backgrounds. And implementation of my research, I had 3 methods of collecting the data. Of course, the first one would be conducting in-class observation. This is where I talk to the students, and documentation whereby it's the students' essays. Okay, and the surveying of my problem. They were not able to produce a proper and comprehensive essay befitting that of a Muet standard essay. This happened because they were not sure of what needs to go into the essay, and thus they were unable to score very well for the paper. Alright, so analysis of the problem. Students could not remember what goes into each paragraph as they were confused between the 3 types of essays they were supposed to write. And because of that, they were demotivated, and the scores obtained were not encouraging. So what I did was I had to come up with something whereby I need to help my students make distinction between the 3 categories of the essays. And I also had to come up with a framework to help my students. They need to know what goes into each paragraph of the discursive essay. So thus came up the Burger writing frame. So if we look at the Burger writing frame, we would see that the top and the bottom are the same. All right, they are the same family member, and the middle part is whatever we want to put in. So what I did was, I told my students they are supposed to create their own burger frame. They are supposed to put in what they are supposed to put in. It's up to them. So as you can see, these are just 2 samples of my students' burger frames, which I did in the class with them. So of course, they can put in whatever they want, but basically they have 5 layers. So the first one will be the introduction. First layer is the introduction. Introduction, of course, we have the normal things that go into the introduction, which is they're introducing the topic. They're supposed to state their opinion, and then they're supposed to present a thesis statement. Okay, and then they have the body paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and then they have the conclusion. Conclusion is again similar to what they had in the introduction. Okay, so I implemented it, and I also observed as they were doing it. Okay, so the students, they drew the burger frame in their notebooks. Of course, they had colors and all that, and then they sat, and they initially they sat in groups of 4, and they brainstorm on what goes into each section of the burger. All right, this was done by referring to their textbook. Okay. After which there was a class discussion to see whether they are on the same wavelength or not as the others. So they were able to help and correct group members when they met an error in each layer, and then there was a discussion why each layer has this, and your layer is different than mine. What goes into your layer, what goes into my layer. Right. So once we were all on the same wavelength, they had already decided, okay, this goes into the whole 5 layers of the burger frame. Then they wrote a discursive essay based on the burger writing frame. So this was actually the burger frame. They used it to refer for their reference, and they were able to actually write properly. Okay, so reflection. I found that it was effective in assisting my students. Of course, slight improvement in their marks, and they were also able to, have minimal errors. Okay, so further research for of course, my remaining the 6 other classes, and then the next action research, which I'm working on now at the moment, is the usefulness of mind mapping in supporting students with essay writing. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih kepada Iqbal Kaur, anak perempuan Canan Singh, atas pembentangan sebentar tadi. Sesi soal jawab selama 5 minit akan diadakan sejurus selepas pembentangan. Sila kemukakan soalan melalui chat box YouTube.